Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dan Scripps, Chair of the Michigan Public Service Commission, and I call this meeting of the Commission to order on April 8, 2021 at 1:30 p.m. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Chair Scripps.
I am present and attending remotely today from Ingham County, Michigan.
Commissioner Phillips.
Present, attending remotely from Ingham County, Michigan as well.
Commissioner Paratek.
I'm present and attending remotely from Wayne County, Michigan.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Today's meeting is being held remotely under the authority of a declaration of a state of emergency for the County of Eaton, pursuant to a resolution of the Eaton County Board of Commissioners adopted on March 17, 2021. We are holding this meeting remotely using Microsoft Live Event. It is compatible with all browsers except Safari. Telephone relay service is available through the phone option. If you are participating via live stream, you may also turn on the live captions by clicking on the closed caption or CC button in the lower right corner of the screen. During this meeting, we will call out participant names before speaking to support those listening only by phone or using relay service. As indicated in the notice for today's meeting, if we lose connection, the Commission will be in recess. We will attempt to reestablish a connection, but if we are unable to do so within 15 minutes, we will adjourn. Decisions made prior to the disconnection will be binding, and other business will be handled at a future meeting. We will not recess or adjourn due to technical issues experienced by individual members of the public. The meeting will be recorded and available for future reference on the Commission's website. In addition, the Commissioners can receive comment via mpsc_commissioners@michigan.gov. For reference, this email is also included in the Q&A feature on the live stream event on your computer and in the meeting notice. Intermittent internet service, you should consider listening to the meeting via telephone, not the computer. So if there is an interruption, you can avoid missing part of the meeting. Another option is to watch the meeting through your internet service with the sound muted and then listen to the audio from your phone. But please keep in mind the video feed has a slight delay while the telephone line is in real time. We will have an opportunity for the public to make comment as provided in the agenda. A few notes about this. Comments should be limited to one per person and can be made verbally by calling in or in writing via the live stream Q&A feature. If you are participating via Teams application, you can use the Q&A feature and type your comments in the box anytime during our meeting, and we will have those queued up to read. The Q&A function should be used to request technical assistance or to submit public comments directed to the Commission. If you would like to make verbal comments, you must call into the meeting by phone. And to minimize disruptions, attendees will be muted until we reach the time for public comment. For business today is the approval of the agenda for today's meeting, and I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the agenda for today's Commission meeting.
Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve today's agenda. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The agenda is approved. The next item of business on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the March 19, 2021 Commission meeting. Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the minutes from the March 19th, 2021 Commission meeting.
Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the minutes from the March 19, 2021 Commission meeting. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The Commission meeting minutes of March 19, 2021 are approved. The next item of business on the agenda is the approval of the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda. And today the Commission is assisted by Staff Attorney Caitlin Mucci. Ms. Mucci?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today's consent agenda consists of 5 communications matters and 2 electric matters. The proposed orders and minute actions for these matters have been thoroughly vetted by the Commission's technical and legal staff and are ready for your approval.
Thank you, Ms. Mucci. Commissioner Phillips?
I move for the approval of the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda.
Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the orders and minute actions on the consent agenda. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The orders and minute actions on the consent agenda are approved. Ms. Mucci.
Item 4A1 is case number U11548, which involves an application and amended application filed by Baraga Telephone Company to expand the geographic area of its prior eligible telecommunications carrier designation. The order before you approves the request.
Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-11548.
Commissioner Pertek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Pertek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the order in case number U-11548 is approved. Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B1 is case number U18092, which involves an ex parte application by Indiana Michigan Power Company requesting authority to update its Public Utility Regulatory Policies Act of 1978 avoided cost standard rate tariff, tariff cogeneration, and small power production service. The order before you approves the application.
Commissioner Phillips.
I move approval of the order in case number U-18092.
Commissioner Pertek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Pertek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-18092 is approved. Ms. Mucci, back to you.
Item 4B2 is case number U18093, which involves a motion filed by Northern States Power Company requesting authority to extend the deadline for filing its Public Utility Regulatory Policies Act of 1978 avoided cost review. The order before you grants the motion.
Commissioner Phillips.
Chair, I move for the approval of the order in case number U-18093.
Commissioner Pertek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Pertek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the order in case number U-18093 is approved. Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B3 is case number U20165, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company for ex parte approval of a power purchase agreement with Calhoun Solar Energy LLC. The order before you approves the application.
Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case numbers U-20165.
Commissioner Pertek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Pertek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20165 is approved. Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B4 is the second matter in case number U20165, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company requesting ex parte approval of a build transfer agreement with Mustang Mile Solar Energy LLC. The order before you approves the application.
I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20165.
Commissioner Pertek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Pertek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20165 is approved. Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B5 is case number U20525, which involves an application filed by Consumers Energy Company for approval of its power supply cost recovery plan for the 12-month period ending December 31st, 2020, and for acceptance of its 5-year forecast. The order before you approves the plan and accepts the forecast.
Thank you, Ms. Mucci. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20525.
Commissioner Pertek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion? We'll now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20525 is approved. Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B6 is case number U20527, which involves an application filed by DTE Electric Company for approval to implement a power supply cost recovery plan for 2020. Item 4C1 is case number U20210, which involves an application filed by DTE Gas Company for approval of a gas cost recovery reconciliation for the period ended March 31st, 2019. Item 4C2 is case number U20543, which involves an application by DTE Gas Company requesting approval of a gas cost recovery plan and factors for the 12-month period ending March 31st, 2021. Staff member Ryan LaRue will describe these three orders.
Mr. LaRue, take it away.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. On today's agenda, there are three orders addressing DTE Gas and DTE Electric's contractual agreements with Nexus Gas Transmission. Nexus Gas Transmission is a 50-50 partnership between DTE Energy and Enbridge Incorporated. The Nexus pipeline is a 256-mile, 36-inch diameter pipeline that can transport 1.5 billion cubic feet per day of natural gas from receipt points in Ohio to the DTE system in southeastern Michigan. The Nexus pipeline was granted a Certificate of Public Convenience and Necessity from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, FERC, in August 2017. It was authorized to begin flowing natural gas by the FERC in October 2018. In July 2014, both DTE Electric and DTE Gas entered into long-term contracts with Nexus Gas Transmission to procure transportation capacity on the pipeline. The contracts provided for firm natural gas transportation from Kensington Receipt Point in Ohio to the DTE Gas System Interconnect in Ypsilanti, Michigan. In October 2018, both DTE Electric and DTE Gas amended their contracts with Nexus to add an additional receipt point 75 miles south of the Kensington Receipt Point at Clarington Station for an additional cost through 2022. In case number U20527, DTE Electric's 2020 Power Supply Cost Recovery Plan case, the Michigan Environmental Council, or MEC, and its witness took issue with the Nexus pipeline agreement in light of changes in the natural gas market. MEC argued that market changes have significantly impacted the long-term benefits and utilization of the pipeline. MEC provided updated estimates of the costs and savings to customers produced from the Nexus contract throughout the duration of the contract. Based on this analysis, the Nexus contract would result in increased costs above market prices. Due to the affiliate nature of the contract, MEC argued that the Commission should not allow DTE Electric to recover costs above market alternatives and should therefore issue a Section 7 warning in line with Public Act 304 as codified by MCL 460.6H. This would signify the Commission would be unlikely to allow the company to recover the costs associated with the Nexus contract that were above the Code of Conduct's affiliate price cap and or above what was necessary to serve the company's gas generation fleet. In the order before you, the Commission finds it appropriate to accept the Nexus transportation rates as projected, with the onus on the company to justify the reasonableness and prudence of the rates, as well as compliance with the Code of Conduct in its reconciliation. The order also finds it appropriate to issue a Section 7 warning and caution DTE Electric that it may not recover the full combined transportation rate in its reconciliation case, absent evidence it has taken appropriate measures, including renegotiation of contracts, to minimize its cost associated with supplying fuel to its power plants based on the current market conditions, as well as looking at comparisons to other long-term supply options. In addition, although the Teal Amendment adding the Clarington receipt point may help to mitigate the higher than expected prices at Kensington in the short term, the vast majority of the Nexus contract is tied to gas supply at the Kensington receipt point. As such, additional information regarding the market outlook at Kensington would be helpful in informing the Commission's review of the ongoing reasonableness of the full life of the Nexus contract. Case number U20210, DTE Gas's 2018-2019 gas cost recovery reconciliation, represents the first DTE Gas case before the Commission in which the actual Nexus costs are requested for recovery. In this case, the Attorney General took issue with transportation and commodity costs associated with the Nexus pipeline. The Attorney General argued that when compared to other purchase options available to the company, the Nexus contract results in landed costs that are excessive and should not be passed on to customers through the GCR clause. In the order before you, the Commission determined that, given the record evidence, DTE Gas's decision to move half of its contracted capacity to Clarington for an additional 15 cents a decatherm was prudent given market conditions. Based on the record evidence, this decision led to lower landed natural gas costs and higher contract utilization in the GCR year when compared to the Kensington receipt point. While the Commission held in its December 9th order in U20203 that DTE make a showing that it is taking reasonable and prudent actions to minimize fuel cost expenses under the underlying contracts in light of market conditions, no party had established that efforts were made to renegotiate the Nexus agreement in the GCR year. The Commission remains concerned with the steps that DTE Electric has taken to minimize the cost of gas and will continue to monitor this issue closely for reasonable imprudence in future cases. In case number U20543, DTE Gas's 2021 GCR plan, parties took issue with DTE Gas's Nexus contract in light of market conditions and requested the Commission issue a warning subject to Section 7. This warning would signify that DTE Gas may be unlikely to fully recover Nexus costs from its customer in its reconciliation case. In the order before you, the Commission declines to issue a Section 7 warning, but reiterates that DTE Gas is under the continuing obligation to provide complete evidentiary support justifying its long-term contracts. Steps taken to minimize costs for its customers and compliance with the Code of Conduct and its reconciliation filing. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. LaRue. And we will take these orders one at a time. Commissioner Phillips, would you move the first?
Yes, Chair. I will move for the approval of the order in case number U-20527.
Commissioner Pertic?
I second the motion.
Before moving to a vote on this and the other two orders, I want to thank our Commission staff for their diligent review of the complex issues involved in these cases. Also thanking our Commission advisors and particularly Mr. LaRue for their assistance in informing our deliberations, and thank our Commission attorneys for their work to ensure consistency in our approach between plans and reconciliations, between gas and electric supply, and across case years, and particularly for their spirit of collaboration in finalizing these orders over the past several weeks while juggling school schedules and other commitments. This Commission has a healthy respect for precedent, and I'll say that that's particularly important to me. Our approach to building on past Commission actions helps ensure consistency and provide certainty to the market, and is a big piece of maintaining an attractive and predictable regulatory environment, the benefits of which accrue to utilities and their customers alike. This approach informs our continued approval of the Nexus contract, and we continue to value the benefits that long-term contractual arrangements can have in mitigating risk and ensuring access to supply. But our precedent also says that, even with the approval of the underlying Nexus arrangement, DTE Gas and DTE Electric have an ongoing responsibility to justify both the costs and the overall reasonableness of their supply arrangements, particularly given the affiliate nature of these contractual arrangements. In the orders being issued today, the Commission provides additional detail on what evidence could be used to provide that justification as to the reasonableness of the cost under the contract. Specifically, evidence as to how Nexus costs compare with other long-term supply options will be informative as to whether this particular long-term contract provides equivalent customer benefits and comports with the requirements of the Code of Conduct. In addition, as Mr. LaRue mentioned, given the importance of the Kensington receipt point to the Nexus contract, additional detail on the market outlook at Kensington will be helpful in evaluating the ongoing reasonableness over the full life of this contract and any amendments. Finally, the Commission will look for evidence of the company's efforts to minimize the cost of gas to its customers, even within the framework of long-term supply arrangements. In particular, again, as Mr. LaRue noted, there may be opportunities to renegotiate these contracts to ensure the long-term reasonableness of the arrangements and avoid any potential disallowances to the utility companies in the future. Again, I thank our staff and other parties for their ongoing efforts in these cases. And with that, unless there's further discussion, we will move to a roll call vote on the motion to approve this order. Commissioner Phillips?
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20527.
At this point, sorry, I was long-winded and we probably
No, you're sorry.
So I think it's the
You
first
broke
one
up there for a second.
has been moved on 527, and so we're just at the point of voting at this point.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Chair. You broke up there for a second.
I
Aye.
apologize. Okay, excellent. Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. Apologies for the confusion on this, and hopefully my internet holds. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20527 is approved. So on to U-20210. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I now move for the approval of the order in case number U-20210.
Commissioner Paratek,
I second the motion.
is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve this order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the order in case number U-20210 is approved. And finally, for U-20543, I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20543.
Commissioner Paratek,
I second the motion.
is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote, and the order in case number U-20543 is approved. Finally, Ms. Mucci, back to you.
Item 4B7 is case number U-20835, which involves an application by DTE Electric Company requesting modification of the accounting approval previously received that authorized the company to accelerate the amortization of its Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 regulatory liability for non-plant related accumulated deferred income tax balances. The order before you approves the application.
Thank you, Ms. Mucci. I recognize Commissioner Phillips.
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20835.
Commissioner Paratek,
I second the motion.
is there any discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips.
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek.
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20835 is approved. Ms. Mucci.
Item 4B8 is case number U-20938, which involves the application of Indiana Michigan Power Company requesting ex parte approval of tariff and rider modifications, approval of 4 advanced metering infrastructure pilot programs, and regulatory asset treatment and deferred accounting authority for costs associated with the 4 proposed advanced metering pilot programs. The order before you approves the application.
Commissioner Phillips.
Thank you, Chair. I move for the approval of the order in case number U-20938.
Commissioner Paratek.
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion?
I do have brief comments to make, Chair. The order before us today in U-20938 approves Indiana Michigan Power's request to amend certain specified tariffs and adopt 4 advanced meter infrastructure-based load management pilot programs. I&M intends to complete full deployment of AMI meters throughout its service territory by 2023, and the implementation of the proposed load management pilots will coincide with the deployment of this technology to I&M customers. Of particular note, I would like to recognize the proposed AMI HVAC and electric water heater direct load control pilots. Both programs will allow the company to study and demonstrate participation in utility-offered demand response programs, specifically participation by customers who face barriers to enrollment in other direct load control DR programs due to requirements that those customers have sufficient broadband internet connectivity to support a smart thermostat or other connected devices. As the efficacy and reliability of energy waste reduction and demand response programs becomes increasingly reliant on the customer's use of Wi-Fi enabled load control devices, increased attention on programmatic design and evaluation will be needed to ensure that such customers have avenue to benefit from and participate in these utility offerings. We know that in Michigan, hundreds of thousands of households lack broadband service due to challenges related to access, affordability, or adoption. As state and federal level initiatives continue to expand broadband availability and address the digital divide, it will be increasingly important for electric and gas companies to recognize the growing interdependencies between our evolving energy and telecommunication systems and prevent the stacking of inequities for customers across those sectors. I again recognize and support the pilot program proposals put forth in the company's application and encourage other energy companies to enable pathways for all customers, regardless of geography, income, or broadband connectivity, to have a role in and benefit from the continued energy transition. Thank you, Chair, and I apologize. The broadband connectivity issues could certainly be on my end rather than yours, but I thank you again for letting me provide comment this afternoon.
Absolutely, Commissioner Phillips, and thank you for your ongoing leadership in each of these areas. When you combine broadband development and addressing issues for customers lacking access, the utilization of utility pilot programs and customer engagement, it's sort of a trifecta of your areas of expertise and passion, and appreciate your ongoing leadership. Is there any further discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The order in case number U-20938 is approved. Ms. Mucci?
Item 4B9 is case number U21032, which involves a matter on the Commission's own motion requesting comments on whether the Commission should allow dual participation of energy storage resources in retail and wholesale markets. The order before you invites interested persons to submit comments no later than 5 p.m. Eastern Time on May 6, 2021.
Thank you, Ms. Mucci. Commissioner Phillips?
I move for the approval of the order in case number U-21032.
Commissioner Paratek?
I second the motion.
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I would like to provide a few brief comments on this order. Energy storage is going to be an important and effective part of the energy transition that we're undergoing, and it's necessary that we set ourselves up for success. Regulation of energy storage is not straightforward, as it doesn't fit into a neat pre-existing box, but that also allows us to ensure that we can properly set up our own structure going forward. And part of this is the interaction with regional transmission operators and independent system operators. The court's recent decision on FERC Order 841 allows us the opportunity to gather comments from our stakeholders to help us better understand the benefits storage can provide to Michigan's customer base, methodologies to quantify the benefits, and the pros and cons of dual participation in retail and wholesale markets, and how to realize the full value stack of energy storage resources. I encourage stakeholders to submit comments to help craft effective energy storage regulation, and look forward to putting forth the best guidance possible for the future of energy storage in our state.
Thank you, Commissioner. We are tremendously benefited, if that's a word, from your expertise in this area, and appreciate your comments. Is there any further discussion? We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to approve the order. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by unanimous vote. The order in case number U-21032 is approved. We've now reached the comment. Let me try that again. We have now reached the time reserved for members of the public to address the Commission. Again, if you would like to make a comment and have access to the Teams live stream Q&A feature on your computer, please enter your name and your comment, which will then be read aloud to the commissioners. This feature is available on the right-hand side of the control bar next to the mute button. As a reminder, the Q&A feature is intended for public comments directed to the Commission and not to engage with other participants or respond to their comments. After taking any comments through this feature, we will open up the phone line for those who called into the meeting and would like to address the Commission verbally. If you want to be queued up for verbal comments, please enter your name in the live stream Q&A feature and indicate that you wish to make a verbal comment. But please do not include your written comment, as this will avoid duplication. I will first call on these names in the order received. After hearing from those individuals listed in the Q&A, we will ask if there are any comments from individuals who are on the phone line but not utilizing the online Q&A feature. Please note that you can only make verbal comments by calling into the meeting. When it is your turn to speak, press *6 on your phone to unmute. As a reminder, this public comment period is for commissioners to listen to comments and concerns and not to answer specific questions. When providing comment, please indicate your name and where you live if you're willing to share, so we have that for our records. And please limit comments to 1 per person and keep them brief, no longer than 3 minutes, so that we have a chance to hear from all who would like to comment. And with that, I believe Ms. Cole, you are again ably assisting with the public comment period, and I'm wondering if there are any written comments in the Q&A feature.
At this time, there are no written comments in the Q&A feature.
Are there any folks who have indicated through the Q&A feature that they wish to make verbal comment?
Not at this time.
Okay, we will now open the phones. If there are folks who are on the phone who would like to make a verbal comment, again, press *6 to announce yourself, and we'll take you in the order that I hear you. Anybody want to make a verbal comment at this time? Again, *6 to unmute if you're working on that. I know sometimes people can even get double muted. We'll give it one more time. Anybody on the phone that wants to make a verbal comment at this time, *6 to unmute. Okay. Well, before we close, I have a few announcements. First, as we welcome the arrival of spring. Wow, I am struggling today. As we welcome the arrival of spring, a reminder that April is Safe Digging Month in the state of Michigan. I know that Governor Whitmer issued a proclamation to this effect earlier in the month, and together with the governor and MISDIG 811, the state's underground utility locator, we at the Public Service Commission urge all Michiganders to call 811 or visit misdig811.org to fill out a request at least 3 business days before any digging to ensure you don't accidentally hit and damage underground utilities, leading to dangerous and potentially deadly consequences. Both the use of 811 and the misdig811.org website, as well as the process of marking underground utilities, is free, and it's an easy and important step you can take to keep you and your family and your neighbors safe. Second, as part of a new rollout to simplify access to the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, telephone users in 4 Michigan area codes will soon be required to include an area code in every phone call, known as 10-digit dialing. This applies to callers in Michigan's 616, 810, 906, and 989 area codes, who should start dialing with 10 digits, area code plus telephone number, on April 24, 2021. Though callers who forget and dial only 7 digits will still be connected until October. This change is in preparation for the July 16, 2022 activation of a new 3-digit dialing code, 988, to reach the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. The Federal Communications Commission in July 2020 designated 988 as the abbreviated dialing code to reach the Suicide Prevention Hotline that provides 24/7 free and confidential support for people in distress, as well as prevention and crisis resources and best practices for professionals. Until the activation of the 988 3-digit dialing code in July 2022, customers can continue to dial 1-800-273-8255, 800-273-TALK to reach the Suicide Prevention Hotline. And the FCC's order applies to all telecommunications providers, interconnected voice over internet protocol providers, and one-way VoIP providers. And finally, We continue to have a number of open positions at the Commission and are actively recruiting talented individuals to join our team. Currently, we have openings for a telecommunications division director, a telecommunications analyst, a rates analyst in our regulated energy division, and a public utilities engineer working in gas operations. Additional details are available on our website, michigan.gov/MPSC, and I encourage anyone who is interested to apply. Commissioner Paratek, Commissioner Phillips, any announcements from either of you before we close out today?
I have no further announcements, Chair. Thank you.
Nor for me.
Well, with that, we'll conclude today's meeting. The next regular commission meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, April 21, 2021 at 10:30 a.m. It will also be an electronic meeting held remotely pursuant to the local declaration of a state of emergency. And just please note the time. I know most of our meetings are at 1:30 p.m., but this Wednesday meeting on April 21 will take place at 10:30 a.m. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn, Commissioner Phillips?
I motion to conclude today's commission meeting.
Commissioner Paratek?
I second the motion.
We will now have a roll call vote on the motion to adjourn the meeting. Commissioner Phillips?
Aye.
Commissioner Paratek?
Aye.
I also vote in favor of the motion. The motion carries by a unanimous vote. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone. Be well.
Thank you all.